Have you ever gotten frustrated and felt like there has to be more to life to this? You get this feeling that you're supposed to be doing more, like you weren't born to be settled, that you weren't born to be stuck, and that you weren't born to be stressed. Well, I need you to understand that restlessness that you're feeling, it isn't a weakness. It is proof that you are designed for progression. You weren't made to settle. You were meant to succeed. And in this video, I'm going to give you 3 reasons so you can understand why you were wired for progression. I want to remind you of something today. You were designed for progression. Every fiber of your being and of your body lets us know that you were wired to move forward. If you begin to think about it biologically, when you were born, when you think about your body, when you first learned how to crawl, you started crawling forward. When you began to walk, you didn't learn how to walk sideways, to the left or to the right. You learned how to walk forward. If you think about your body, if you think about your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your ears, all of your vital organs and your vital senses that is important for you to be able to see and experience the world, all of those things are facing forward. And so if everything vital for us is facing forward, it lets us know that we've been wired biologically in our body to begin to move forward. I guarantee you, 98% of the steps that you have made in your life, you've been walking forward and you hadn't even thought about it. If we think about it psychologically, if we think about our mind, we're never settled for the same thing. Oftentimes we become restless. We're hungry for more. We want to know what's next. We want to know what's happening around the corner. We're eager for the next day because we are not wired to settle. We are wired to keep moving forward. And we're always craving the next, even though we're in the now. If we begin to think about it spiritually or philosophically, even from the beginning in all of the wisdom literature, it always inspires humanity to grow, to progress, and to become more, and to expand and to multiply and not stay the same. I want to remind you that progression and that progress is your natural state. But somewhere along the way, life begins to life. We begin to experience loss and we begin to get labeled by people. And these things causes us to forget what we have been designed, what we have been crafted, and what we've been called to do, to progress, to become better throughout our life. And I know what this feels like. I've been there. I've been in those frustrated moments. I've been in those confused moments. But I want to let you know, even through the frustration and even through the confusion, I didn't give up. And I need you not to give up as well. Because even through those moments, something inside of me refused to quit. And that something was in my design and something that is in my DNA, and that is progression. And the same thing that is in my DNA, the same thing that it is in my design, it is in you too. And I want you to know that there's a part of you that knows that you are built for more. I'm going to say that again. There's a part of you inside of you know that you have been built for more. You're not here to settle. You know that you're not common. And you know that you are meant to progress and to move forward. And this is exactly why I created this platform. That is exactly why I created this YouTube channel, to be able to encourage people who know that they've been designed for more so that they can develop the mindset, the skill set, and the tool sets so that they can begin to move forward. I want to remind you that you have been placed on this planet for a purpose. You have been placed on this planet for a purpose and you have a reason. And that reason and that purpose is to get everything that is inside of you outside of you so that you can help other people live life better, so that you can make a specific contribution to mankind. And in order for you to make the maximum imprint that you've been placed here to make, You gotta make progress. Listen, this is what I've learned about progress, and this is what I found out about it. Progression, the definition of it is steady, measurable forward movement towards a purpose or a future. Progression is steady, measurable forward motion, momentum, movement towards a purpose or a future. It's not about perfection or nonstop wins. It is growth that continues to stack over time. Small wins, large wins, learned lessons, adjustments, and more action. And a lot of times we have to realize that progress isn't always a straight line. Sometimes it has dips, sometimes it has valleys, and sometimes it has peaks. But as long as we continue to move forward through those times, we will become the individuals that we have been created and crafted to be. Progress compounds. It's the tiny, consistent inputs, the habits, the decisions, the attention that we give that makes the big changes in our life. It's not about things being instant. It's about willing to go through the increments so that we can get the change and that we can have the progress that we have been created to have. Listen, there's three things I want you to get today. There are three things that I want you to get today, and I'll be done. Progress isn't a scheme. Progress is a system. Mm. The first one is progress isn't a scheme. Progress is a system. What is a scheme? A scheme is a underhanded plan, and it's only designed for whoever's working it so that they can take advantage of those who are around them. That's not progression. Progression is a system. It is something that we have been designed to do naturally. And if we think about our body, we have something like 13 systems in our body. We have the muscular system. We have the cardiovascular system. We have the nervous system. We have the digestive system. All of these systems, they activate and they're active in our body, sustaining our life so that we can progress. It is natural for you to have these systems, and in our life, it is a natural system for us to be able to move forward. Your mind, your body, your spirit are all programmed to grow through repetition, resistance, and resilience. Everything about you is programmed to learn through repetition. What is repetition? That's doing things over and over so that it is burned into our minds so that we know exactly what to do. What is resistance? Resistance is the pressure. It is the difficult things that we're going through. It's just like when you lift weights. It doesn't feel good, but that resistance, the weight of that resistance builds your muscle and it builds your strength. And the reason why you are who you are today is because you have been able to resist, and the resistance that you've been feeling, you've been able to push, and it's built your stamina. And resilience. Resilience is simply our ability to handle things in life and to bounce back better, to bounce back stronger, wiser, and more intentional. The second thing I want you to realize that progress starts invisible, but is seen externally. So what does that mean? A lot of times we want things on the outside to begin to get better. We want to see the change, but you have to become the change in order for the change to happen. The change happens inside of us. It happens in how we think, how we view ourselves, the self talk, how we see ourselves, and how we see the world. And if we begin to work on the things internally, the things that we want to see externally, we'll begin to see them once we begin to get in alignment and we begin to flow as the individuals in which we have been created to be. Just because you don't see it happening doesn't mean that it's not happening. Mm. Just because you don't see the progress happening does not mean that it's not happening. We have to understand that some things happen internally before we can see it externally. The third and final thing that I want to give you on today, that progress is proof of purpose. Progress is proof of purpose. If you don't have purpose, if you didn't have purpose, you wouldn't be on this planet. I want you to think about that. If you didn't have purpose, you wouldn't be on this planet. Everything that we have on this planet has a purpose. And what that purpose is, it has been designed. It is the reason for the creation and sustaining of a thing. And if you are still here, you've got a purpose. Water's here to keep us hydrated. Air and oxygen is here to keep us so that we can be alive. And if you're still here, you have a purpose as well. And if you're still waking up, if you're still breathing, and if you're still thinking about changing, that means that you have been designed to progress. And you don't have to force progress. Only thing you have to do is stop fighting it. Each time you choose to heal instead of hide, that's progress. Each time you choose to face the difficult and not avoid it, that's progress. When you choose to forgive instead of fight, that's progress. When you try again instead of tapping out, that's progress. When you choose to grow instead of groan, gripe, and complain, that's progress. And I need you to type progress in the chat, because if you notice that you've been doing these things, type progress in the chat, because it is evidence that you know and that you are honoring your design. Listen, here's what I want you to do. I just don't want you to hear this. I want you to apply this. Write this down somewhere, that progress is in my DNA. Tell your step. Ask yourself, what is one small step that I can make today that aligns with my design? What is one small step that I can take today that'll get me moving in the direction that I need to move in? Because you weren't put here to settle, you were put here to succeed. And because the same way your heart beats without asking for permission, your soul longs and your soul desires, and it beats for growth and it beats for progress. Everything about you screams progress. And I want you to start taking the steps that you need to start taking, to start moving forward. Because you don't need permission to progress. You just need to execute it. And so I want you to listen to me. Life is going to test your design, but that doesn't mean that it's going to erase it. You're not broken, you are becoming. You're not behind, you're being built. You weren't made to stay the same, you were made to progress. So no matter how hard life gets for you, no matter what the obstacle, situation, circumstance that is in front of you, I want you to remember and remind yourself that progression is in my DNA. I have been wired, I have been designed, I have been configured for me to move forward. And if this has hit you, if you agree with anything that I've said today, drop it's in my DNA, because I want you to understand that that's what you have been made for. Progression, progress is in your DNA. Listen, if anything I've said to you today resonates with you, if you said that anything today has been for you, I want you to share this with somebody else, because I am on a mission to help as many people as possible to start having progress within their life. Listen, tap that like, tap that follow, tap that subscribe button for more content that's going to help you move forward faster. And as always, I'm Coach Cannon, and I'm committed to progressing forward.